Yo, what's
How's it
happening?
going, mate? You all right?
Good, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Saw you taking your test on Twitter. It didn't look too comfortable.
I know, I did it wrong. Out my mouth. Everybody was doing my nose.
It's like scuba diving. You can't do both at the same time.
That's it,
Um,
mate.
Obvious first question. I'm sure you watched the fight on Saturday night. What did you make of it, and how keen are you to face the winner?
I thought it was a great brilliant fight. I thought it was evenly matched. I think Cheeseman deserved the win. He was the better boxer throughout. Eggs had good spells mid-rounds, but I think Cheeseman did enough to get the win. And he showed a lot. He showed a lot of grit, a lot of determination, some skills, and he deserved the win. And I'd love to fight him next. Hopefully, get through Adam Harper first.
What are you more keen on, assuming all goes well against Adam Harper? We don't mean any disrespect to him, but a fight with Cheeseman coming off that great win over Eggington, or a rematch with Scott Fitzgerald, which is something I'm guessing you're always going to want?
I think the Fitzgerald fight's still over that. Obviously, Cheeseman's got a world ranking now, so it's getting towards the world title. Cheeseman be a better fight, but for my own personal satisfaction, I'd love to box Scott and get that win over him.
Great stuff. I'll let someone else jump in there, but good luck on Friday night.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Speak to you, mate.
I'll jump in. Ames here from Boxing News TV with Anthony Fowler. Anthony, you've had some time now to bed in with Shane McGuigan. How has that transition from training with Dave to Shane been?
I think this camp I've improved a lot since the last camp. I feel a lot more at home now in the gym. I know what he wants me to do, and I think he's happy with how I'm progressing. I've had some good feedback from him, which is hard to get. So must be doing something right.
Critics will say of you, Anthony, that since the Scott Fitzgerald loss, you haven't really pushed on. Now, obviously, lockdown has hampered everyone's ability to push on. But after this fight with Adam, should you come out victorious, are you looking onwards to have that push forward with your career?
You know, I'd agree with critics. I have been stalled for a little bit. I want to push on, but the fights aren't really happening for me. I've been asking for that rematch since day one. So it's down to obviously win this fight, hopefully Friday, and then push on to British Cheesemans of the world at a higher level fights.
One of the reasons that rematch with Scott Fitzgerald hasn't happened is because he's had his problems outside the ring. Have you reached out to him at all?
No, no, he's not my best mate. I don't text him, see how he's getting on. But I've been keeping an eye on what's happening. I think he's been suspended, so I'm not sure if he can fight me in December or November. But if not, I'd love to fight for the British title regardless. Maybe someone like James Metcalf, who's a good fighter from Liverpool too. Me and him would be a great fight for British.
That fight's in the offing. Ted Cheeseman victorious against Sam Eggington. He has the IBF ranking 2. He's interested in a fight with you. Is that the next logical step? Maybe if you come through Harper, of course.
Yeah, I feel as though the fans want the fight badly, and Eddie just mentioned it. Then he said after 3 rounds of the Cheeseman fight, he said, "I'd love to see Cheeseman fight Fowler." So I think our styles would share lovely. So hopefully we could fight next end of the year. It'd be a massive fight for them, British public.
Cheers, Anthony. All the best at the weekend.
Come on, mate. Thank you.
I'll jump in. Go on.
Yo, what's happening, lad?
Anthony, how you doing? You all right?
How are you?
Long time, mate. I'm doing well. Where do you place yourself amongst Cheeseman and Scott Fitzgerald? I mean, we've got an exciting trio of domestic super welterweights. I mean, how do you see yourself amongst the pile?
I think I was the best fighter, mate. Obviously, I've lost Fitzgerald, and people will say he's better, but since then, mate, I've come on loads. I had 9 fights back then. I've had 13 now, so I'm a much better fighter, a lot more experienced, and I feel as though I'll beat them both.
I had a conversation with O'Hara Davis. He wasn't impressed with the level of opposition that you're fighting this Friday. I mean, would you make of his comments?
He's not the greatest fighter. Obviously, he's English. He's an English champion. He hasn't boxed for a while, but he's a good, solid test. He's only lost to Sarefa, who's highly ranked in the world. So he's not the greatest opponent, but he's definitely tough, definitely durable, definitely coming to win. He's going to be a competitive, tough fight.
Definitely. And how do you how do you see your pathway through to a rematch with Scott Fitzgerald? I mean, obviously he's had personal issues, but surely that is probably the first thing on your mind in terms of getting revenge against Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, since Scott, I've beat Brian Rose, I've beat Harry Scarf, hopefully beat Adam Harper. They're all like English champions and that level. Scott's British champion, the next level up. So I feel as though I've earned my rematch, and I feel as though I'll beat him in the rematch.
Excellent stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony. How are you doing?
How are you, mate?
I'm good. Let's talk about your opponent a little bit. Adam Harper, like you mentioned there, you know, his best opponent, you could say, was probably Zarafa. Lost to him. That's his only defeat. He's also fought Ryan Kelly, so a respectable opponent. He's never been knocked out as well. Is that something you're going to look for, or are you just going to try to ease those rounds out after, you know, what's been a long lockdown?
Yeah, I'll just take my time. I'll follow instructions, and whatever Shane tells me to do, I'll do. I think Shane will want a stoppage as much as me. So obviously, after a few rounds, we break him up and take a little steam out of him, and then go for the stoppage. But I'll take the fight as it comes, one round at a time. I'll make sure I'm winning the rounds. I'm putting the rounds in the bank, and I'm winning the fight. That's the main thing. I
was going to say as well that he. What have you seen of him to tell the fans that maybe the fans might not know of him, if you've studied him at all?
Yeah, well, he's been in the away corner a few times in his career already, and he's won 2 out of 3 fights in the away corner, so he won't be intimidated. He'll come to win. He's a durable, determined fella, so we'll try his hardest, and should be a great fight. You mentioned the Eggington Cheeseman fight. You were impressed with both. It was a good fight. We obviously know you want Cheeseman, you want Fitzgerald, but say for some reason that doesn't happen, would you like to entertain Eggington even at some point? Because that would be a great fight too. Yeah, there's all these names, Andy. Obviously, will be good fights, all of us. Like, obviously, me and Eggington be a war. Me and Cheeseman be a war. The fans are going to win regardless, but I do want to be, like I said, pushing on in my career. I don't want to be stalled around this level forever. Like, I'd love to fight Cheeseman rather than Eggington, because beating Eggington, then what? Fight Cheeseman. I'd rather just skip Eggington, go straight to Cheeseman. Yeah. And lastly as well, Liverpool, finally champions of England. Taking some motivation to that to get some silverware or gold of your own in the future. Yeah, amazing, mate. It's a brilliant year for the city. Everyone's buzzing on my family. I've had a Liverpool theme kit for this fight since we are champions. It was only right. Awesome, man. All the best. Nice one, mate.
Hello, mate. You're right. Mark here from Press Box. Just a couple of questions from me. Anthony, we saw Dalton Smith last week. He was doing his own cooking. I think Cheeseman said he brought in his Xbox. What home comforts have you brought into the bubble to make it a nicer experience for you? Not much, mate, to be fair. I've got my phone, my iPad, and a few little meal preps. That's about it. I'm old school, mate. Actually, funny enough, one other thing that Cheeseman said last week, that he was actually more focused because you've been put into this environment where you're not out selling tickets, you don't have any sort of family around you. Are you experiencing something similar at the moment? Not really. I'm used to this, mate. This is how I live my life. I live my life like this. I'm very restricted what I can do. I leave my room to go to the gym, I go home and eat. This is how I live my life. It's like a bit of a quarantine in Kent. I don't drive down there. I walk to the gym, I eat, I walk back to the gym. That's how I live my life. So it's all the same, and I'm really focused as I always am, mate, and I'll be razor sharp Friday night. And just the last one from me. Can you sort of highlight a main difference between working with Shane and working with Dave? Is there anything that particularly stands out in their styles or personalities? Not necessarily personalities. They're both good people, really good people. I think the styles, Dave wants me to be a lot more aggressive, like a lot more like closing the ring, getting up close, where Shane's like wants me to keep me range and work behind me jab and use me feet more. So I'm boxing like technically the opposite of what I used to. I used to be a lot of pressure. Now I'm a lot more counter punching, and you'll see that Friday night. And how does that feel? Does it feel natural? Does it feel kind of, I guess if you learnt one way of training for a long time, it would take a little bit of time to adapt. Does it feel natural? No, it's as an amateur, that's how I boxed. As an amateur, I was big and strong. I'd come forward, but I'd also counter. I weren't always going forward constantly. So it feels a lot more natural than what you'd think. Like, obviously, I learned a lot from Dave, boxing on the inside, with Shane and working on the outside more. So it's a good combination of both. Cheers, mate. Best of luck Saturday. Thank you, mate. Thanks a lot. Hi, Anne. Steve from Boxing UK. What's happening? Hello, mate. Nice hat, lad. Nice hat, put on the bin. I thought I'd get dressed for the occasion. Right. And we discussed the last fight that you had. How frustrating was it that you didn't get a chance to show what you'd learned under Shane, and how important is it this weekend that you do get that opportunity? Yeah, well, I'm sure Adam Harper will be a lot more endurable. I'm sure he'll have proper boots on as well. that's an advantage.
And you're throwing us now, mate. You've talked a lot about in camp about the change in Shane, but somebody that you've mentioned lately is the influence of Barry McGuigan. Just how important is it to have somebody like Barry in camp, and how much help is he giving you?
No, mate, he really motivates me a lot. Like, he gives me a lot of self-belief. Like, to have a Hall of Fame like Barry give me the confidence he pays me every day, it's really, really nice for me. And like, I really respect what he says, and he really believes in me too. So, it gives me a lot of self-belief.
And I know everybody else has mentioned it, but what do you want to happen this weekend, mate? And ideally, if you could go and see Eddie now and say, this is who I want next, what would you say to him?
If I could have Fitzgerald at the end of the year, that's my perfect fight. If not, I think either James Metcalf for British or Cheeseman for that IBF. They're all great fights for me, and finish the year with a bang.
Good man. And best of luck at the weekend, mate.
Well, mate, thank you.
Take care.
Hello. So I just wanted to ask, so Adam actually hasn't fought in about 2 years. How much of an effect will that be for you? Like, how would it be for you as an advantage?
Yeah, obviously he's obviously going to be rusty the first few rounds. He might take a while to get into his stride, but it depends. If you have good sparring and you prepare correctly, it's a fight, innit?
So with this whole COVID pandemic, how has it changed you as a fighter?
It was nice for me, to be honest. I had a few months at home for the first time in a long time. I've always travelled my life. The last 10 years, I've lived on the road in different gyms, fighting for my dreams. Where I had a few months at home just to relax and to be in Liverpool. It was actually quite nice for me.
How has it benefited you? So what are the biggest cons and pros when it came to the pandemic and being quarantined and under lockdown?
I wouldn't say it benefits me in any way. Just give me a little rest. Let me body rest. I think I punched for a few months, so hopefully got a few brain cells back.
How do you think the fight will end?
I do believe I'll stop him. I believe between 6 and 8 I'll stop him, but who knows? We'll see.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.